Hey brass players, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can consistently get your perfect sound without going to the shop for expensive modifications, buying countless numbers of mouthpieces to try to fix your issue, and without taking thousands of dollars worth of private lessons. I discovered this technique after thousands of hours and modifying hundreds of brass instruments. This technique works for all brass instruments: trumpets, trombones, euphoniums, tubas, French horns. It all starts with the physics of sounds and understanding the relationship between your mouthpiece and your lead pipe. It's important that your mouthpiece be undamaged and that the shank be perfectly round. Now what happens is when the air goes through the mouthpiece, through the throat, and out the shank, is the air begins to spin. And when that air begins to spin, it goes down the receiver into the lead pipe and continues that rotation through the horn. Now the problem with our mouthpieces are that if you look carefully at the end here, the thickness may not always be perfect all the way around. And the reason for that is all of these are machined. They're perfect. Then they have to be hand buffed before they can be plated. That buffing is what changes the direction of the air for your sound. So let's say the buffer had a bad Wednesday and he sat right here just for 1 or 2 seconds longer. Now we've changed the shape, the fundamental shape of this mouthpiece. So that's going to make the air flow a little bit differently. So what we want to do is match that direction of the air to the direction that it wants to free most flowly through our horn, which is going to give us the best sound. So how do you do that? It's called clocking your mouthpiece. Now imagine with me, if you will, that this is a clock. I like to use the number stamp as my point of reference. So I'm going to start with the number at 12 o'clock. So as you're holding your instrument, place the number in the 12 o'clock position. And all you need to do is play your tuning note on your instrument. So I'll just play a G. And then you're going to move it 1/4 turn. So now let's say the number is in the 3 o'clock position. I didn't change anything. The only thing I did was rotate the mouthpiece, and you could hear how much more strained, how muffled that sound was. Let's move it to the 6 o'clock position. Immediately, the horn is more brilliant, it resonates, the vibration was amazing, and the sound was huge. Let's check 9 o'clock. Again, the sound incredibly weak and muffled, like I put a mute on it almost. So how this will always work is if 12 o'clock is good, then 6 o'clock will sound good or better. If 3 o'clock is bad, then 9 o'clock will sound bad. Now, with your mouthpiece and your instrument, it doesn't matter which one sounds good. You just want to find the clock position that sounds the best. And then every single time you play, pay special attention to make sure you put that mouthpiece in your horn exactly the same way every single time. And if you do that, every time you go to play, it will sound exactly the same and you'll win first chair for your next audition. Now, before you roast me on the sound in this video, when I was putting the clips together, I realized that the 6 o'clock was so much more present and the sound was so powerful that it actually sounded worse on the recording from my phone. The 3 and the 6, if you were in the room, were very muffled and muted sounding. It didn't feel good. That 6 o'clock position felt amazing and the horn was so responsive. So what you need to do is go try this on your horn and you'll be amazed with the results.